Good morning to the respected delegates, respected faculty and my dear friends. We are from Babu Jagjeevan Ram Government Degree College, Narayanguda. Our Jignasa student study project is about the youth perception and attitude towards the electoral process in Indian democracy, a case study. We have done this project under the supervision of Dr. T. Keethushree ma'am and Dr. C. Shanti ma'am. Myself, Pujita, and my team members are Nayan, Srinivas, Shivani and Akshara. I'll introduce our topic with a quotation by great Nelson Mandela saying, "The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow." India is the biggest democratic country in the world. Since independence, India has been conducting free and fair elections by the Election Commission of India. India has the largest youth population, but the majority of the country is led by older generation. Moreover, it's remarkable that though political parties' intention is to attract the youth by the way of election campaigns, political demonstrations, rallies, union student elections, but they fail to meet their demands. Elections in India are divided into three levels: union level, state level and local level. In union level, we have the general elections of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In state level, we have the elections of Legislative Assembly and Legislative Assembly Council. Local level, we have village, panchayat, mandal and district level elections, municipal, municipality, corporation elections. Now my friend Nayan will continue with the literature review.
Thank you, Pujita. So in literature review, we have reviewed different journals and books and also some articles, and we found the research gap from that, which is after reviewing the literature, we found that there is a gap regarding the studies on youth perception and attitude towards electoral processes in Indian democracy. So this study explores the perception of the youth. Now my friend Shivani will continue with the problem statement.
Thank you, Nayan. I'll continue with the problem statement. The participation of youth in electoral process is the bedrock of democracy. In this context, the attitude of young voters towards the politics and the performance of the political parties, civil society and the factors influencing their voting behavior plays a vital role. The study project focus on the investigating of the various dimensions of the young voters' attitude. This project aims to shape the mindset of the youth in India, contributing to a better understanding of their role and impact on the democratic process. These are the three research questions we used in our project. Those are the young Indian voters participating in elections? What is the attitude of young Indian voters about the politics and the elections? Are the young Indian voters showing interest to become the nation builders? Objectives of the research are to know the curiosity of young voters towards building a smart India, to know the attitude of young generation as a voter, to analyze how youth make use of their power and authority as a politician, to know about the opinion of senior citizens, about the young generation voters and the representation of the nation building. From now onwards, my friend Akshara will continue with the hypothesis.
Thank you, Shivani. Hypothesis, that is, young voters in elections may not show diverse attitude and perceptions on elections for nation building, and young voters in elections may show diverse attitude and perceptions in nation building. Research methodology. Data is collected from primary and secondary sources. Data collected from primary sources with online surveys by using Google Forms, and also collected data from offline surveys with interviews and interaction method. Secondary data is collected from various journals, books, YouTube and online search engines. Now my friend Pujita will continue.
Thank you, Akshara. Coming to the data, we have collected nearly 95 responses. From that, average of male was 62%, female was 36% and 2% others have participated in this online survey. 70% from urban young voters and 30% from rural young voters have participated. Confidence, we have asked a question that do you believe that voting is important? We got a yes as 98.9%, maybe as 1.1% and no as nil. Participation in voting, we have asked a question, have you participated in voting? We got a yes as 76.3%. No as 22.6% and not interested was 1.1%. Interest in politics, the majority of youth was interested in politics. Coming to the percentage, interested were 65.6% and not interested were 34.4%. Reason for cast to vote, for good governance was 49.5%, duty as a citizen was 47.3% and to participate in elections was 2.2%. Expectations for entering into politics, for good governance 17%, to provide free education and health was 9%, welfare schemes was 2%, to work for the nation was 1%, entering into politics 1%, free and fair elections 1%, and from all of the above 62% was the majority. If you aspire to enter the politics, what path do you envision taking? There were chosen different paths. For that, percentages were as follows: dedication and honesty was 88.2%, spending money was 7.5%, by charisma was 3.2%, as a hereditary was 1.1%. Now my friend Nayan will continue with the findings.
So after completing our project, these are our findings. We have taken 100 responses in this student study project, out of which 2/3 of the young voters have shown interest in the electoral process. Out of the 100 responses received, many of the young voters believed in elections and voting. In this survey, the youth have voted for good governance. 88% of youth believed that their participation in voting will lead to the development of the nation, and 88% of the young voters believed that dedication and honesty will be the path for them to enter into politics, and 14% of the youth were not aware about the voting process. Now my friend Srinivas will continue with the suggestions.
Thank you, Nayan. After doing this research, we have certain suggestions for our government and youth that our young voters must learn about elections for entering to polling booth to cast their vote. Parents should encourage youth to participate in voting and contest in elections. Government has to initiate to bring and should make mandatory awareness among the young voters while conducting some practical programs like mock parliament, voting process in educational institutions. Government has to mandate to involve young voters in poll work like new voters registration, identification of polling stations and involvement in election duties, etc. And majority of respondents have opined that there should be awareness campaigns to educate youth about the contesting in elections. From here on, my friend Shivani will conclude.
Conclusion. Youth perception and attitude is most important for the successful democracy. Nowadays, youth are giving least priority for the politics. If they concentrate on the policy making and election and participate in election, definitely they would bring a good civil society and a good governance.
So these are the photos we have taken during our field study. Lastly, we conclude with the quote of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Young people are at the heart of today's great strategic opportunities and challenges, from rebuilding the global economy to combating violent extremism to building sustainable democracies.
We
cast our
our
vote.
vote.
We are
the
nation builders. Thank you.